My name is Richard Mangali, and for my proposal presentation, I would be discussing the prevention of suicide and coping strategies for the people in Powell, Wyoming. The overview I will be discussing is the significance, the plan of work, and strategies and solutions. The problem is based on CDC that the Wyoming has a really high suicide rate, shown on the graph. Even though it looks like it's the highest, over the years, Wyoming has started to improve on its suicide count, but still in that high range. The two reasons for this, the main reasons, is depression and bullying. The reason it's depression and bullying because since it's a rural area, activity is not as high compared to most states, and bullying because diversity is not as big. And those two may cause mental health problems like schizophrenia, bipolar, anxiety, other 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 problems, but those three are one of the biggest. lack of prevent the lack of preventive services around the area because again a rural area, no low population, which can also correspond with the lack of support and awareness because there's fewer people and they have their own problems to deal with and they feel like they don't want to get themselves involved into their problems because they feel like they don't know what to do. The significance, why does this problem matter? Because it's important for people to know this, to be aware of the high rate, and because every life matters, we shouldn't just sit there and let them die. We could at least help them out, knowing what problems they are dealing with so we can know how to help them, how they can cope with their problems. Most, like for example, easier access to guns in the rural area. Frederick Rivera, a professor from Washington, said that 86% of suicides occur, occurred from guns compared to drug abuse, which is 2%. That's a huge difference. And the reason maybe they use guns to kill themselves because of their depression, because there's that huge depression, because depression can lead to all sorts of things. Uh, but all those factors can lead to depression, which may lead to suicide. And people who live in rural areas are more likely to be autonomous, which means they uh, take independent for their decision making, which can cause depression because it's all by yourself without people. And again, discrimination. A diversity is not big, so they judge you on race, on religion, especially sexual orientation, and gender bias as well. Strategy solutions I come up with is reducing the bullying and reducing and help people cope with their depression. Those help solving those two problems may decrease the rate of suicide, since those two are the main problems. For bullies, maybe we should focus on the bullies more on dealing with their problems. Like what should they do? Like why are they doing this? Maybe help them out because they have problems themselves too and they just want to inflict that pain so people would feel that same pain so they won't feel as lonely, and maybe we can help them out with that. On depression, weekly counseling, because counseling is like a safe space or a safe place for people to let out their problems. And recreational activities can help too because it boosts self-esteem people people will develop interpersonal bonds. And one thing about people with wanting communication or interpersonal bonds is they want to be part of something bigger than themselves. And if they're part of something bigger than themselves, they don't feel as alone and they won't feel lonely, which means they won't be depressed. My plan of work, I hand out surveys of my agenda. And according to the data I collected, 75 said it was depression, 2.5 lack of resources, 2.5 particularly isolation, 6.25 said bullying, and surprisingly 0 said drug abuse, which correlates to Riviera's statement about that huge difference. Okay, if you have any more questions, let me know. on the comments below. Okay, bye.